Today, being the 26th of October 2023, the Supreme Court upheld the election that was conducted on the 25th of February 2023, which was marred by irregularities and a lot of God knows what that should not allow any election to be upheld. Yet, our Supreme Court upheld it. Now, the lesson to be learned from this ruling is that in Nigeria, somewhere in West Africa, election is no longer relevant. Whatever you do as a voter is not relevant. It's just a mere exercise. The people who truly determine who will become the president or not is the INEC. In Nigeria, INEC is INEC. That means Independent National Electoral Commission. I am disappointed, and today I regret being a Nigerian. This is my voter's card. That's my voter's card.
We see it too.
Everything is showing up.
We see it.
Now that's my voter's card. You can see Magnus Oraka, born on the 21st of October 1967. You see, that's my voter's card. I am at this moment. This is the scissors. I'm destroying my voter's card. It's no longer important.
My people, my Biafran people, na how on a day. This one na Biafra Superstars Media, and I am holding it down. My people, today I want to speak to the Obidients. I want to speak to Peter Obi. And I want to speak for all those Biafrans that somehow they believed in that contraption called Nigeria. As you can see what this man is doing now, destroying his voter's card. They call this one lamentation. Had I known. But unfortunately, had I known comes at last. After you have done all what you did, all these months, campaigning, Obi kerekenke Obi one Obi kerekenke Obi kereke madu Obi, you were doing Obi, and the other people, they were laughing at you. The politicians in that zoo, the cabal, they were laughing at you. Because they know that that contraption called Nigeria, there is no rule of law. And they will always change the goalposts. That's one thing I know about Nigeria. Which was why we told you guys not to waste your time. Don't waste your time trying to say you want to change Nigeria. You thought you were a citizen of a country. Nigeria is not a country. There was no time you went through what they call citizenship. Like in the Western world, we do what they call a citizenship test, an exam, an allegiance that you must do to show that you are worthy of a citizen. You don't have that in Nigeria because Nigeria is a place where even your police, you see the way your police, they treat you. On the road, they beat you like a criminal, they slap you, they whip you, they steal your money, they force you to open your cell phone without no court warrant. Without no lector, no legal tender from the court that gives them the right to access your phone or your laptop. That tells me you are in a zoo, you are in a contraption, you are in a jungle. They call it the Banana Republic. What you are in is not a country, because you see the way the army, even the army, they slap you, they whip you, they ask you to roll on the floor. You wear a camouflage by mistake. They say you are impersonating the military. They will slap, whip, and strip you naked. You wear a green trouser. They will slap you. They will whip you. They will ask you to somersault on the floor, to roll in a gutter. Obedience. And those who voted for Peter Obi, I want you all to know that what you did in a sane country, in a country that there is rule of law, what you did was noble, because you saw a problem in a system, you saw a problem in a supposed country, and you went all out to change it. What you did was noble, but the problem is that the factor here is Nigeria. You are trying to carry out a noble task in a zoo called Nigeria, in a place where there is no rule of law, in a place where you have big man syndrome. Politicians, they steal your money. You see them on the road, you call them big man. You dobale, as the Yoruba would say. You bow down, you dobale for them. You lay on the floor. You are ready to strip naked to bow for them. Even your girls, they are ready to sleep with these so-called politicians. Very, very sad, my people, because I looked at the so-called Obidients and I saw where, their state of mind is. They wanted something good. They believed they had a nation or a country called Nigeria. They believed they were citizens of Nigeria, and they believed they were carrying out their civic responsibilities. And also, when Peter Obi called out, they obeyed the clarion call. They heard Peter Obi saying he's coming to make a change from consumption to production, and they believed him. They heard him. Unfortunately, the foundation of Nigeria is flawed. You claim you are running a judicial system, what they call it again, democracy. You say you are running a democratic system. But I want to tell you now that what you are running is called oligarchy, not democracy. Oligarchy, government of the few, by the few, and for the few. If you like it or not, you must call a spade a spade. You must look at the mirror. After you heard what your so-called justice did in the Supreme Court, you must look in the mirror and tell yourself the truth. That there is nothing called Nigeria as a country. You must look in the mirror and tell yourself the truth. Because coming out on YouTube, cutting your ID card, cutting your passport, destroying your voter's card, with all due respect, they call that playing to the gallery. You are just playing to the gallery to act as if you are angry about what happened. Only a coward will do that. Because they say actions speaks louder than words. Coming on YouTube to show us you're cutting or destroying your ID card shows you are a coward. Because your ID card did not fight with you. As the saying goes, gun don't kill people, people kill people. It's not the gun. It is the man behind the gun, the woman behind the gun that pulls the trigger that kills somebody else, not the gun. So you destroying your so-called ID card, your passport, all those things, you are just playing to the gallery. Because you have not looked yourself in the mirror and tell yourself the truth. You want to blame that ID card, that plastic, that object. It is just an object. The problem is not the ID card. The problem is you for believing you are in a country. The problem is your so-called politician, somebody like Peter Obi, that assumed or presumed that he was going to run for the office of the presidency, and that the Zoo government, the Fulani cabal, those who control Nigeria, the owners of Nigeria, those who were blessed by Britain, those who had the keys of that zoo called Nigeria, those who Britain told they were born to rule. For the fact Peter Obi assumed that they will allow him to be president makes me to wonder if something is wrong with Peter Obi in his head, in his thinking. Because sometimes these men that have made millions, he is a billionaire from Nigeria, somehow he now has the affinity. He now believes, oh, all my friends, they are in Nigeria as well. Because a rich man don't know his enemies. When you're a rich man, everybody will come to you, they'll be smiling at you. So when he looks, his friend from the north, they are there. His friends from the middle belt, they come to him, they are laughing. His friend from Yoruba side, they are smiling with him. He will now assume Nigeria is a nice place. I can change Nigeria. I can make Nigeria great. Come and vote for me. I am coming out to become your president. Biggest mistake, biggest move that Peter Obi should be ashamed of himself. Because there's a saying that the devil you know is better than the angel you don't know. I expected Peter Obi to know better. I expected him to know. Except what he did was, like Simon Ekpa said, except what he did was Britain trying to use him to cajole the Biafrans into partaking in that election. I still believe that was what happened. That Britain, they deliberately told Peter Obi to make sure he joins a party because Atiku was becoming stubborn. Atiku was about to win the primary from PDP. So Britain asked Peter Obi to come down to England. He flew to England, and within few days, he was saying he is now, the front runner for Labour Party. Britain is so clever. Britain, they are very, very clever. If you think you have a Nigeria that is your own, then you are making a mistake. Because Britain still controls Nigeria. Britain told the Fulani they were born to rule. During those days, in the 60s, our parents from the Middle East, even from the Southwest, they went to Britain to study and understand the Queen's language. They were going to learn English. They were speaking the Queen's language. Let's face it. The accent they had, people like, what's his name again? Nnamdi Azikiwe, Awolowo, they were speaking the Queen's English. Amadu Bello and the rest of them, they were speaking Queen's English, but unknown to them that the Fulani were told they were born to rule. That was the mistake. Because Britain saw what was happening. They saw that the South, there was more resource in the South. And these Southerners, they are too smart. So they must find a way to control Nigeria. And the only way they could do that was to tell the cabal, was to tell the Northerners that they were born to rule. They planted the seed of discord. Until this day, you see what is happening. So for Peter Obi to understand the history and still assumed that the cabal, they will allow him to be president, he was wasting his time. My fellow Biafrans and those who belong to Peter Obi, it is time to do what is right. Look yourself in the mirror and tell yourself the truth. There is nothing called Nigeria as a nation. Only a fool or stupid person will see what happened on the 26th of October. Was it just yesterday? You saw what happened just yesterday in the Supreme Court, in the so-called Supreme Court. You saw what happened. And you still believe There is hope. You still believe in Nigeria. You still believe in this so-called Peter Obi and all those things. Peter Obi he might be a gentleman, a good man. He might be, I don't know, but he should understand the fundamentals. There was never going to be a time they will allow somebody from the southeast, an Igbo guy or a Biafran to rule, because they know we the Biafrans we are about to leave. They know the Biafrans they are living. So they will never allow that to happen, my people. I want to call on the Obidients to today that you still have the chance. You still have time to correct your wrongs. You still have the time to do what is right. You still have the time to turn around, do a 180 degrees and look back to Biafra. Look back at the thing we are doing, because the only way you can guarantee yourself freedom, the only way you can actualize your pursuit for happiness, is for you to break out from that zoo called Nigeria. Break out from that contraption called Nigeria. Because right now, a drug dealer is your president. Right now, a fraudster is your president. Right now, someone who used the name of a female to find his way to America. He even claimed he graduated from a university. Ah, God, Nigeria. Nigeria, shame they shame me, my people. I must say this one. I must say this in pidgin English. Nigeria, shame they shame me. And you all still believe in this Nigeria. The only thing making it to be Nigeria is the oil coming from the land of Biafra. So destroying your passport, destroying your voter's card, you are just beating about the bush. You are perambulating because you have not faced the real problem. The real problem must be the discussion about that thing called Nigeria. Are you happy to be part of that so-called entity called Nigeria, that project? Whether you like it or not, if you are not a citizen, it means you are a slave. In a place where the police, they slap your face. In a place where army, they will whip you from the backside. They will whip you when they see you. That's shocking. I hope one of these days I will do a video where I will show the police and the army in the Western world. I will interact with them so that those in Nigeria, they will see the way a policeman is supposed to interact with a person, even if you're just a lay person on the road. You should be able to speak to a policeman and they'll respect you. Hi, sir. Hello, sir. Can I help you? All right, sir. Okay. They call you sir. One of these days, I will do a video. The police will call you sir, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. In the Western world. That makes you know you are a citizen and the police is there to serve you. Service means servant. The police is your servant. The politicians in the Western world, they are there to serve you. So they are your servants. But in the case of Nigeria, because it is not a country, when you see your politicians, you see them as a demigod. As a demigod, you worship them, you bow to them, you sing them songs of praises, you even give them your daughters. They steal your money and you worship them. They steal your resources and you praise them. Only in Nigeria, and that's only going to happen in an environment where the citizens are not citizens, where you see yourself as a slave and your politicians are your masters. Slave, obey your master. Slave, obey your master. It's in your Bible. That is why someone like Peter Obi will come out because he's schooled in the Western world, he was assuming that Nigeria has changed. He is a billionaire, so all his friends, they are nice to him. They smile with him. His friends from the north, they will smile with him. So somehow his brain has changed. He has forgotten what Nigeria is. He assumed because he's a billionaire, Nigeria has changed. Nigeria is a nice place. I can come out to compete in this election, and people, they will vote for me. When they vote for me, I will win the presidency. That was the thinking of Peter Obi, because he has been brainwashed. He has been brainwashed. He forgot the real Nigeria that we, the Biafrans, we know. We know the leopard will never change the skin. We know the devil when we see the devil. But Peter Obi forgot the real Nigeria. And he went out there telling people to vote. Oh, we are obedient. We are humble. After the voting, what happened? Let us call a spade a spade. After the voting, what happened to Peter Obi and his people? Look at Lagos. They said, Igbos cannot vote. People were killed. Chaos everywhere. The hatred in that zoo now has even gone off the roof. The tribalism in that zoo now has gone off the roof. What baffles me, my people, is this. Atiku was the one that took Tinubu to court in USA about his certificate. But it is Peter Obi that everybody they are attacking, the Igbo man. Atiku, a Fulani man, took Tinubu to court. But the person getting the brunt is Peter Obi. So obedience, that alone should have allowed you to know that in the next 100 years, Peter Obi will not be allowed to rule that zoo called Nigeria. And for those who are Biafrans in the obedient movement, it is time for you to turn around. Make a U-turn. Turn around. Come back home. Come back to the movement. Come back to the struggle. Because we want to give you a proper home. A country known as Biafra. A country that when you come there, you'll be a citizen. Nothing like being a citizen of a country. Look at me, I'm in the Western world, and the white man treats me with more respect than my so-called black people in that zoo called Nigeria. You claim we are Wazobia, but the white man treats me with more respect, utmost respect, than the so-called Wazobia. Sometimes I baffle. It baffles me. I have a team here that I manage. A team mixed with white, Asian, and black in my team. My staff, I manage them. They respect me. And my anger as well is this issue with Igbo and Yoruba. I keep saying it, we don't have any problem, because the moment Biafra leaves that zoo called Nigeria, all the problem will be solved. Because I don't know why in the Western world they come to me to help them. I take care of them. I support them. One girl, she's a Yoruba girl. She just came to the Western world. I believe she came to school and she only had some money for school fees. She doesn't have a place to stay. Think about that. They call it the jackpot. She jackpot from Nigeria. She came to the Western world to study in a way, to hustle. Fine. I understand your hustle. But she could pay a bit of the school fees, but she did not know she has to pay hostel accommodation. So she said she was sleeping at the lobby. Oh my God. Something they call a hub, a student hub. She was sleeping in a student hub. A hub is like a place where there is TV, there is sound system. People just go there to chill. In the night, that's where she's sleeping. That's to show you the relationship between the Biafrans and the Igbo and the Yorubas in the Western world. She saw me, I was buying something from an African shop. God bear me witness. I went to an African shop to buy plantain, to buy, African kind of stuff. They sell it there. As I was buying, she rushed towards me. Bros, please, are you Nigerian? I said, no, come on. Nigerian choir. I just laughed it off. And I asked her, are you from Lagos or where? This girl was in tears. A Yoruba girl, she was in tears, begging me to help her. There was no question about, oh, Igbo man, why you, Igbo, nothing like that in the Western world. She was begging me to help her. She told me her problems. Oh, God have mercy. And out of love, out of empathy, I felt for her. And I was able to pick my cell phone. I spoke to a friend that has a bar/restaurant, or what you call like a nightclub, but it's a bar with a restaurant. 2 in 1. This, my friend, at the top of his bar, he has a spare room at the top of the bar, like the first floor. I called him, I told him, our sister is, I even used the word sister, our sister is here. She's stranded. Please, can you accommodate this girl for a while? And let's find a way to even get her a job. My people, as we speak today, not only is she staying in that first floor, that room for free, she's also working in the bar of that, my friend, a Biafran man. Biafra to Biafra, we are helping a Yoruba girl to at least to settle down in the, because it's not easy. To settle down in the Western world, it's not easy. So out of empathy, I didn't ask her for favor for a favor. Oh, come sex me or whatever. No. Out of empathy, I did that for that girl. But guess what? If I find myself in Lagos, you all know what will happen to me. Omo Igbo, wayo, Omo Igbo. You saw what they did to our people during the time of the election. So there is something fundamentally wrong with Nigeria, that when we are in Nigeria, they act like animals. But when they're in the Western world, they start to think and act like real human beings. Till this day, she never knew the guy who helped her was Biafra Superstars Media. She never knew. Till this day, she's still working there. My people, that's who we are. Biafra means come close, come near, come and take, come closer, come abode, come over, come and stay in our land. You are welcome. That's who we are. We are givers. I know Peter Obi would have done something great in that zoo, but Peter Obi should have understood something, that the fundamentals. There is a fundamental fact that the Fulani cabal do not love us. Light and darkness don't mix. The only reason why we are there as one country in that zoo called Nigeria is because of the oil coming from the land of Biafra. And to call a spade, the only tribe that believes in that zoo called Nigeria, sadly, is the Igbos. Because all across the country, the Igbos are there doing business, doing trade, opening shops, building houses, buying lands. The Igbo man does that all across that zoo called Nigeria. But when you go to my village, you will never find a Hausa or a Yoruba man building houses, building schools, building banks, or anything in the southeast. You won't see that because they know they need to stay in their own place. The only time you see them in the East is when they are working in an oil company. I remember my childhood friend in Lagos. I went one time to where is this place again? I went somewhere in Akwa Ibom State. Akwa Ibom, as far as Akwa Ibom. I went to Akwa Ibom. Eket, yes. I went to Eket. There is a mobile fuel station, not fuel station, mobile oil company there. There was a contract I had some years ago, way back in the early 2000s. My bosom friend, my childhood friend, a Yoruba boy, my childhood friend. I went to Eket. I was in the office having a discussion. And the person who popped into the office a few minutes later was my childhood friend, Ade. I looked at him. I could still see his face. And I called him, Ade. He was shocked. He turned around, looked at me. He couldn't recognize me no more. Then I called him his nickname. He screamed, he yelled, he shouted with joy. Came to me and hugged me, asking me where was I all these years. Where he was, he was really, touched. And I told him, I've been out of the country for so many years. We just came down, to discuss, some businesses. Are you here now? Oh yes, I'm here. Okay, all right, good. I was surprised that the only time you will see them doing is when they are working in an oil company in the land of Biafra. As far as Eket, I found them there. And I was like, wow, this world is a small place, I was in Eket for 2 weeks. Business was done. Flew out of the country. But that memory was still good because somebody you knew at the age of 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, he was your bestie, your best friend at childhood. Suddenly you lost contact, but you could still recognize that person. I'm saying that story to let you know the problem is not the people, but unfortunately, the politicians, they have made tribalism to be a problem in that so-called Nigeria. That in the time of election, my friend Ade might see me and say, Igbo man, so wayo, you will not vote in Lagos. That's what they do because of politicians and politics. Which is why I'm saying enough is enough. All the Biafrans, all the Obidients who are Biafrans, I am calling upon you. Please obey the clarion call. It is time to come back home. Do not destroy your passports live on TV, on YouTube, on the internet, on social media to show your anger like this man is doing. What this man did is just playing to the gallery. He was playing to the gallery. To show us he's angry, he's chopping off his ID card, his voter's card, and all those things. That is playing to the gallery, sir. Your problem was not the voter's card. Your problem is Nigeria. Your problem is the Fulani cabal. Your problem is your governors. Your problem is the politicians. Your problem is INEC. Your problem is the police. Your problem is Boko Haram. Your problem is headsmen coming to your land to steal your land. Your problem is your military coming to kill you. Your problem is the things around you. Your problem is that thing called Nigeria. It's time to break it up, my people. So next time, when you think about what I've just told you, don't go about destroying your voter's card. That is the least of your problems. If you are really mad, if you are really angry, if you really want to make a change, then I am calling upon you to come back home. Come and join the Biafra movement. We are here. We're still waiting. Mazi Simon Ekpa is still doing the job of Oyendu Mazi Nambikano. Come back home. We are waiting. And when you come, we shall welcome you with both hands. Come back home. Nigeria is not for you. Nigeria is a project. Nigeria is a contraption. Nigeria is like it's like a company. It's a rogue company. It's a fraudulent company. It's like a, what do you call it? A Ponzi scheme, a pyramid scheme. Nigeria is not real. A citizen must not be scared of the police or the military. No. In the Western world, I hardly see the military boys, but when I see them, I say, hey, you know, we talk, we crack jokes. They are smiling, you know, they're very, very shy. The military in the Western world, though, when you talk to them, they are shy, they are smiling with you, they are happy. They are in their camouflage attire, they are happy, they are looking sharp, and they are smiling at you. But in Nigeria, you talk to a military man, he will slap you, he will flog you the koboko, he will tell you to roll on the floor. Because he sees you as a slave, as a property of the politicians. I rest my case. So finally, look at this man one more time and tell this man, I can see his name, he's a Biafran. Tell this man to come back home. Watch the video again and please tell him to come back home.
Today, being the 26th of October 2023, the Supreme Court upheld the election that was conducted on the 25th of February 2023, which was marred by irregularities and a lot of God knows what that should not allow any election to be upheld. Yet, our Supreme Court upheld it. Now, the lesson to be learned from this ruling is that in Nigeria, somewhere in West Africa,
Okay.
election is no longer relevant.
Wow. The lessons to be learned now is that in Nigeria, somewhere in West Africa, election is no longer relevant. Oga, you know this. In Nigeria, somewhere in West Africa, election is no longer relevant. Wow, my God. What makes a nation is democracy, the system of government. In a nation, there must be a government. In a government, there must be a system. In that system, it is the people that puts the system. So democracy is government of the people, by the people, and for the people. But suddenly, in your own case, it is different. Like I said, what you are practicing is called oligarchy, not democracy. Not be democracy. Yours is government by the few, of the few, and for the few, which is why Tinubu said, Emi lo kan, egbe kini wa, Emi lo kan. And now this man is saying, somewhere in Nigeria, in West Africa. Oh man, this man, I want to see him. I want to shake his hands. I want to embrace this man and welcome him back home. Okay? Oga, please, we need you to come. People like you, we need you in the movement. Come back home. Come back home. There is nothing for you in Nigeria. Peter Obi cannot do the. In fact, he is not even Jesus. He cannot do any miracle for you in Nigeria. Nigeria is in the gutters. The name, the brand, the reputation, everything is in the gutters. They are only hanging there because there is free oil. Like I keep telling you guys, the only reason why they are continuing Nigeria right now is because that oil has not dried up. If the oil should dry up today, Nigeria will break up tomorrow. Mark my words. But that oil is there. The Biafran oil is there. Look at Saudi Arabia. They are running a mono economy, all from oil. Dubai, up till how many years ago, it was a mono economy run by oil. But now, Dubai is doing tourism because they use the money from oil. They have invested in real estate. They are building skyscrapers. They are building, 5-star hotels, 7-star hotels, and all those things. And now your politicians, they are stealing our Biafran oil, the money, the process from the oil. They are flying to Dubai to buy those houses in Dubai. Hey, Nigeria, shame, they shame me, my people. Nigeria, shame, they shame me, my people. Nigeria, shame, they shame me, my people. I rest my case. God bless you all, man.
Ike dị n'ụdị n'ụdị ike 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 ike prime minista ike ike dị n'ụdị n'ụdị ike ike Biafra ike ike dị n'ụdị n'ụdị ike ike Pentikọst ike ike dị n'ụdị n'ụdị ike ike dragọn ike ike dị n'ụdị n'ụdị ike ike jachụ ndị nzama ike ike dị n'ụdị n'ụdị 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 ike ike dragọn ike ike dị n'ụdị n'ụdị ike ike prime minista ike ike dị n'ụdị n'ụdị ike ike Pentikọst ike ike dị n'ụdị n'ụdị ike dragọn ka anyị ga-eso ma ọ na-ejeje ma ọ na-ana dragọn ka anyị ga-eso my dragon ka anyị ga-eso ma ọ na-ejeje ma ọ na-ana dragọn ka anyị ga-eso emenke ka anyị ga-eso ma ọ na-ejeje ma ọ na-ana emenke ka anyị ga-eso emenke ka anyị ga-eso ma ọ na-ejeje ma ọ na-ana emenke ka anyị ga-eso